Top 3 bands Lemmy hated with passion. Which bands did Lemmy Kilmister say they were crap? Lemmy Kilmister was a British musician and the frontman of the iconic rock band Motörhead. He is known for his gravelly voice, distinctive bass playing, and rebellious attitude, making him a prominent figure in the heavy metal and rock music scene. He was the lead vocalist for rock band Motörhead and the band Hawkwind. His time with Hawkwind was impactful but brief, ending due to his turbulent lifestyle and drug problems, which resulted in his dismissal. He became one of the most influential artists in the history of hard rock and heavy metal. Although his music was usually fast and heavy, Lemmy had a really broad musical taste and was also known for his honesty and straightforward attitude. Lemmy didn't shy away from expressing his opinions about other bands. So if you're Lemmy's fan or simply curious about this legend, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, and let's dive in. The Clash. A lot of musicians hated The Clash. Kurt Cobain once made a comment saying he hated The Clash so much that it made him decide to ditch punk entirely. If that is punk, I wanted nothing to do with it. In a 2009 interview with Spin, Lemmy said, "I was never a fan of The Clash. They always sounded like old music trying to pass as punk. I never had any patience for their fake politics, but I thought the Damned and the Ramones were fantastic." Speaking to Louder Than War back in 2011, Lemmy elaborated on this perceived chasm between The Clash and Ramones. "I never had time for The Clash and their pretend politics, but the Damned and the Ramones were great." In 1991, Motörhead released the song as a tribute to the punk band that Lemmy greatly admired, the Rolling Stones. Motörhead's bassist and frontman, Lemmy, grew up listening to the Stones and the Beatles. Both bands inspired him, but in his autobiography, Lemmy expressed a love-hate relationship with the Rolling Stones. Although Motörhead covered "Sympathy for the Devil," it didn't mean Lemmy loved everything about the band. Furthermore, Lemmy did not hesitate to compare Jagger and his people with the Beatles, whom he considered the winners of the historic duel. "I liked the Stones, but they were never close to the Beatles, neither for the humor, nor for the originality, nor for the songs, nor for the presentation. The only thing they had was Mick Jagger dancing. I went to see the Rolling Stones in the park and they were horrible, completely out of tune." Lemmy called the Stones a bunch of "mummy's boys" who manufactured hardship living poor in London, as opposed to the Fab Four, who survived growing up in tough Liverpool neighbourhoods. They were all university students from the outskirts of London who went to starve in London, but it was by choice, to give themselves an air of disrespect. The bearded bassist spared no hate for the Rolling Stones live act. All they had was Mick Jagger dancing about. The Stones made great records, but they always sucked on stage. The Who, formed in 1964, are one of the most influential rock bands of all time, known for hits like "My Generation" and "Won't Get Fooled Again." But despite their massive success and groundbreaking sound, Lemmy wasn't a fan. Lemmy wasn't afraid to slam his peers from the classic rock period. One of his most concise takedowns was of The Who, the group that vocalized his era's rebellion with "My Generation." Lemmy, like many of those who had been there from the start, believed they should have given up years ago. This point was bolstered by the death of their bassist, John Entwistle, in 2002, a tragedy they are still trudging on from today. Lemmy simply said, "I don't know why they still bother without John and Keith, you know? They should have broken up in 1978.